thousands.
Mujin! Looks like Mujin made a video about the whole situation here in the LA wildfires, and I kind of want to see what he has to say here, my dude. As someone who is literally right freaking here in LA, it's a bit scary. Not even necessarily the fact that there's a bunch of fires happening. On top of that, it's the fact of how badly our infrastructure is that we can't even control or handle these fires. Something which is not like a new thing we've ever it's not like something we've never dealt with before in California. In fact, we deal with it pretty consistently. Some might even say annually during fire season, forest fire season. Some might say, but you see, we have a lot of weird rules that are meant to protect nature, but either don't really protect nature or just sort of don't really do anything besides make us feel like we're doing something for the environment. One of those things, for example, is the fact that we never, ever, ever clear our forests. We've left them entirely, we don't clear forests because we pretty much keep saying, hey, we want to protect the environment there, we want to, yada, we need nature to do its own thing. So, normally what you would do in forests is you would pretty much either clear away a lot of the dry shrubbery, or you would do controlled fires and burn away a lot of the old dead shrubbery, therefore fertilizing the soil for the next season, because the ashes give a lot of nitrates and stuff, or you would just sort of clear it all up and compost it all in a big freaking pit, compost all of it, and then at least here in LA, you can go to the city of LA, and they'll give you free compost. Typically they'll take it from compost from all over the freaking city, LA, in the green bins, basically. So it's we have easily an infrastructure to do any of these, but because we want to leave nature and to do its own thing and don't mess with it, we haven't cleared forests, and these fires seemingly have been using a lot of that fuel.
Of structures destroyed.
So let's see what Mujin has found out about the situation.
A health emergency
See if I
declared
can
due
add
to
my
all
2
the
cents to
smoke
it.
in the air. Police deployed to burnt areas because of looters. Tap water isn't even safe to drink or cook.
Not just police, by the way. We as I speak now, we actively have the National Guard here arresting looters currently in the Palisades.
And a fire tornado straight from the gates of hell itself.
Yes,
with
correct.
winds reaching over 85 miles per hour. Not only is this a natural disaster, but we're also witnessing one of the biggest logistical disasters in history.
Bro, the winds are pretty freaking insane. I have ashes all over my property.
Historians are going to
and I'm not even that close, I'll be honest. I'm really not.
About it in this video, starting with this map. These are all the structures and buildings destroyed because of this fire so far, and we're only getting started. Look at the amount of destruction here. This is insane. Massive communities wiped off the face of the earth. Now, this map right here is for evacuations, okay? Look at this massive area. Whatever is in orange is already burning. Whatever's in red is an evacuation order. If you live in these areas, you are obligated to leave immediately. And whatever's in yellow is an evacuation warning, okay? You have to be on standby, and you can receive a message at any moment telling you to leave. The fires are so deep in the city that they're so close to Santa Monica itself. But I want you to imagine something. Imagine that you are a Los Angeles resident living in these yellow areas. You receive a message on your phone, an emergency alert with a loud sound saying "new." This is an emergency message from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. An evacuation warning has been issued in your area. Remain vigilant of any threats and be ready to evacuate. Gather loved ones, pets, and supplies. Continue to monitor local weather, news, and the webpage Alerta for more information. Now this
alertla.org. Listen. Let me tell you how badly they managed this. I, live on stream, got the warning. I got the message that I am to be ready for an evacuation. I got that specific message. I am nowhere near this particular. I have some friends that are UCLA that actually had to get evacuated. They're not allowed to go into class as well. Anyway, but point being, Bro, they really sent that over to me, and I am not that close. Like, I am not within these territories. Like, they accidentally sent it to a lot of people that were not supposed to be getting evacuated or even getting a warning.
Message was made to be sent to people in the yellow areas when their areas turn red. But in this case, millions of Los Angeles residents received
Including
these messages
myself.
on their phones, some not even close to the fires. How would you feel
I am
seeing
not
a
that
message
close.
like this when you have an elderly parent or children or pets?
I'm not gonna say where, but I'm in LA. I'm more in the LA area. Like, so no idea how
But
the
hey,
freak
don't
we
worry,
got the
it's
message all the way
all
over here.
good. It's okay. Because they received a message around 20 minutes later saying, oops, sorry, disregard last evacuation. It was for Kenneth Fire only. So the fire that's very far around here, close to Agora Hills and Calabasas. You think to yourself, okay, fine, listen, this made me panic like crazy.
All the way up north. Yet everyone south of the fire got it as well.
But hey, this was one mistake. I'm sure it won't happen again. Well, guess what?
Oh,
You go to sleep,
you would
and
think.
at 4 a.m., you're woken up because of a very loud sound on your phone. It's another emergency alert saying the same exact thing. Guess what? This one was also sent to millions of people, and it was also a false alarm. This sparked massive panic.
Bro, I started the stream late the next day because me and the entire family woke up in a panic and started like getting ready. Bro, what a freaking nightmare of a freaking week, bro.
All right, and now people don't even trust these messages anymore. Authorities are worried that if they send an evacuation message to people, they're going to disregard it. And why wouldn't they? How could this happen in a country that calls itself a first world country in a state like California? Have we learned nothing from 2018? Hawaiians back then had to deal with a message like this sent to their phone saying a ballistic missile threat is inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. This turned out to be false, of course, but it was tragic. Families were calling.
Bro, we really have to realize that we have never practiced any of this stuff. We think we're prepared for these things, but we have no idea what we're doing at the end of the day. We are we are just flat out not going to be prepared for anything, bro, because we're humans and we're just way too prone to errors.
Each other saying goodbye. But it was unfortunately only the tip of the iceberg. This led to the famous copypasta of someone having intercourse with their biological sister because they thought they were going to die anyway, so why not, okay? We cannot have more incidents like these happen. And this is one of many logistical failures that have occurred in Los Angeles only in the last few days. Look, I lived in Los Angeles for a few years of my life, and I can tell you right now, wildfires are a yearly occurrence. Initially, the red skies and the smoky air is going to shock you, but by the second year you live there, you'll understand this is something that happens all the time. But why does it happen? Well, the phenomenon is called whiplash, where you have extremely wet weather at one time and then extremely dry weather at the other with no in-betweens. Los Angeles weather always fluctuates between two extremes, and it typically has very dry winters like right now, which means that all the moisture from grass and any vegetation is completely gone in the mountains, and it's all going to act like fuel at the slightest little spark that lights up for whatever reason.
Yeah, most people think of winter as like the snowy wonderland. The snowy wonderland, the cold time, and it is cold, very cold. At least cold for us, right? But the reality is there's a reason why they say that California is summer is summertime all year round. It's for a reason. It's always dry. It's always dry. It's always freaking like...
When you combine this with such insane winds that can spread embers miles away, this is how you get a ridiculous amount of fire spreading way too quickly. Not to mention that this wind can knock down a UFC fighter if it wanted to. Even if you had the equipment, you can't even make it to where the fire is because the wind would stop you. Because fires are a yearly occurrence in Los Angeles, one could say that it's like earthquakes in Japan. Earthquakes in Japan happen often, which is why they've converted all their infrastructure to be made specifically to resist them as much as possible. But this begs the question that everyone's asking. How is it that fire hydrants in Los Angeles, a city that gets wildfires all the time, ran out of water immediately? Firefighters would show up to the scene, use water a little bit.
Dude, this has been an ongoing issue for years. Years and years and years. Our reservoirs have been empty. This has been a massive problem. Anytime there's a massive forest fire here in California, we make a big deal about it and nobody seems to care. And it's been happening with these freaking stupid politicians for years. They never fix it. And now it's
And
biting
then
them
all
in
of
the
a sudden
ass.
realize, wait, this is already out of water. We
Shit,
have
I've
to leave
covered it on the
immediately.
channel before.
Well, it turns out that there was a water reservoir in the Palisades, the biggest fire going on right now, right? That had a capacity of
Empty.
117 million gallons that was empty. And it didn't get empty.
Not only empty, bro. The tarp, there's supposed to be a tarp that they lay on top of it. Now they started moving towards like throwing these black plastic balls to make sure that like sunlight doesn't hit it. But there's supposed to be a tarp that goes over it when it's full of water. Bro, the tarp was torn to shreds, ripped up, messed up. Like they haven't used it in years.
Recently, it's been empty for an entire year, making residents furious. This isn't just a water capacity issue, right? The less water you have, the less water pressure you have as well. And when the winds are so crazy, you need very good water pressure to be able to counter the extremely strong fires. This was a water capacity and a water pressure logistical disaster. And many are wondering, how could this happen? This is the most taxed state in the United States, after all. If you live in California, you pay as much taxes as...
It is the highest tax state, yet we have potholes across the entire state. Our schools have the worst funding ever. No friggin' our police are basically defunded.
As I do in
and
France,
you can't even
here,
freaking get
I
these
free
services
healthcare.
fixed.
Like, what's going on? Well, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, posted this on his Twitter account, saying that he's calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure to local fire hydrants and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir. We need answers to ensure this does not happen again, and we have every resource available to fight these catastrophic fires. But to many, this just sounds like Mr. Beast investigating himself. This shouldn't have happened to begin with. An investigation shouldn't have happened to begin with. But it did, and it severely impacted what firefighters could even do, because without water, they can't do anything. They're just human beings at the end of the day. This prompted other countries to step in to help, like Mexico and Canada, more specifically the province of Quebec, sending their super scooper plane, carrying a lot of water, dumping it on the fires. But here's the thing.
Oh, and then some freaking idiots drove a freaking drone into it and forced it to freaking land. What a moron!
The pilot flying this plane, volunteering, almost lost his life because some idiot was flying his drone over the fires trying to capture footage. This hit the wing of the Super Scooper and almost downed the plane. It can't help anymore. In fact...
No, we don't even got that many Super Scoopers either. It's not like we got a whole ton of these freaking flying constantly.
Were forbidden from going for a while because of all these drones in the air risking their lives. Now, yes, the police department did say that if you're flying a drone in the area right now, you risk a $75,000 fine. But dude, the damage was done. This is another logistical disaster. The firefighters were lacking water.
Now that freaking plane has to have repairs done before we can freaking start to use it again to start handling the fires.
And now didn't have access to foreign
aid. Bro, genuinely should be sent to jail.
No one's been arrested, but it's not like it's a priority because people are too distracted by things that don't exist right now. One of the fires that sparked up in Los Angeles was in the Hollywood Hills, something unprecedented. But thankfully, it was contained within a day and isn't a threat anymore. This hasn't stopped tens of millions of people to believe that this footage is real. Yes, even though there's 3 L's in the Hollywood sign, many people thought...
There's freaking 3 L's, wow. Yeah, no, you can't see the fire from here, from like this, like even if you were in this angle, you wouldn't be able to see the fires from there.
This was real. There were many videos shared of the Hollywood sign burning, either taken from movies, series, YouTube videos, you name it. And people ate it up. Like this TikTok right here with 4.4 million likes and tens of millions of views asking, who the hell said there was a fire on the Hollywood sign?
Yeah, you can't see any of that.
Being in complete disbelief, asking themselves...
I drove down to Santa Monica, I don't even know when exactly it was, but it wasn't even that long ago. And I didn't see any of that. I didn't really like it wasn't like the sky was on fire.
Actually fell for AI, and it turns out they did. But whether you were tricked by this video or not, many people thought that these fires had something to do with arson. And it wouldn't be the first time a major fire in Los Angeles was caused by human negligence.
No, and I do believe it is. I wish I had it. If I was more prepared, I wish I had it. They caught an elderly gentleman as well starting fires down by the LA River is like a freaking moron, just for no freaking reason. Who knows why? A couple of residents just went and like apprehended him, stopped him before he could. But it's like,
Devastating
why?
fire at the end of 2017
Are you
was
serious
caused
right now,
by
bro?
power lines sparking.
We don't
One
know
of the
why,
craziest
what the purpose
Los Angeles
was.
fires that was caused back in 2020 was because of a malfunctioning smoke machine that caught fire during a gender reveal party. It ended up claiming the
Oh my
life
goodness,
of a
I remember
veteran
this.
firefighter. This is making many people believe that it's too much of a coincidence that many of these fires are starting next to residential areas. Like this tweet right here claiming that there's an arsonist in LA. While some residents spotted someone on a bicycle carrying a blowtorch in their neighborhood 30 minutes after the Kenneth fire had started, they took him down, tied him up, and then called the police, who showed up 30 minutes later. He claimed that he was carrying a blowtorch because he used it to light up weed. Yes. The reason why this was significant was because the Los Angeles Police Department had initially said that it believed that the Kenneth fire was started intentionally, unlike the others. But obviously when they said this, they had no proof, and they still don't. They wanted to put this guy in jail no matter what, but didn't have enough evidence to do anything with him. The damage was done though. People are now paranoid over the fact that there are arsonists starting these fires on purpose, inciting more panic and conspiracy theories. Someone else got arrested, a 60-year-old woman, for starting a fire that was thankfully very quickly extinguished by authorities, adding more fuel to the fire. No pun intended, but you get what I mean. But whether it was arson or natural causes, the question...
Well, that's the thing. At this point, it's not about whether there is this, like, there's no, like, super villain arsonist like Firefly from the Batman that's out there trying to, like, set everything. It's just, yeah, no, there's a couple of instances of idiots, like, idiot arsonists that just sort of, like, are trying to take advantage of the situation to do their own little chaos, their own little havoc. That lady is one of them, you know?
Remains. How did the senior and top officials allow this to happen by being so badly prepared? Insurance companies saw this coming a mile away last summer in 2024 by canceling the coverage of everyone in the Pacific Palisades. It didn't matter how long you were subscribed to their insurance. They weren't the only insurer to do this, all giving the same reasons that if they stayed there, they faced the risk of bankruptcy. So yeah, it's not just health insurance that's scummy in the US, it's any type of insurance, including home insurance, wildfire insurance, you name it. People are very mad at both the mayor and the governor with one...
Bro, and everyone and the way it is a bad time to be a CEO of an insurance companies. You think the health insurance situation with Luigi was bad? Think about how many pissed off people are gonna be like now that their house insurance is freaking gone.
Palisade resident finding Gavin Newsom and confronting him, asking him, how did you allow this to happen? Why is this happening? And look at his response. It's ridiculous.
I'm talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it.
I'm literally on the phone with the president. Let me hear it.
Right now.
Actually, my phone isn't working.
I promise.
This
Yeah,
is a
no.
resident that maybe voted for him, right? Trusted him to run California and give it what it needs.
The fire. I think the smoke is blocking the signal. All the ashes of your life. Blocking the signal. I can't get it.
And yet she was completely and utterly failed. At the same time, there's a petition calling for the mayor to resign because she also did not prepare for this. Currently sitting at over 78,000 signatures and going up by the second. I mean, look at all these signatures happening right now as I'm talking.
No, she's a lunatic. What's bad on top of all of this is the way how none of them want to take any kind of responsibility. None of them want to like actively institute any kind of solution. They just want to pass the buck on to the next person and blame like everybody else. Basically, they just want to pass blame along to anyone and everyone else. When it's like, bro, why are we even playing blame games when it's kind of like how about we start making changes right now or passing laws or anything really that's going to like get those reservoirs filled again. But no.
Very pissed. As I'm recording
They don't
this
wanna do
at
that.
2 a.m. European time on January 12th, the Palisades fire is only 11% contained, needing to reach 100 for it to be controlled and then completely extinguished.
Relax, baby, stay
Eaton
with me,
fire,
babe.
same
No
thing,
buggies?
sitting at 15%. Now the firefighters and government officials are hoping
buggies,
that
baby.
the winds finally
buggies?
regress
Stay with
and
me.
allow them to actually
on.
contain the fires, but here's the problem. The winds keep getting worse
So
and
I
they're
had to
not
pick up my
calming
doggo. He's
down.
gonna be on my
Worst
lap.
case,
Just
they
so he's
keep
not
going
barking,
until next week, which means that unless more people are mobilized, more water is somehow found, and more measures are taken, this fire will continue spreading. And I want to make sure to say that this is not the fault of the firefighters or the first responders. These people are heroes. The ones who should
Nah,
be
son, the firefighters are honestly like the top tier right now. They're top class. Like like considering the scale of everything, this is as good a response as you can realistically get. Like they actually like quite a few fires that have started like have been handled or snuffed out very quickly. Very quickly.
held responsible, though, are the senior officials, the people high up in power that have the ability to determine budget cuts, track water reservoirs, make sure fire hydrants are functioning, because it's their fault. And unless something changes with those
No, this absolutely like shows how corrupt and just absolutely neglected the entire infrastructure of California has been for years. And it's something that many times has been brought up. Many times people have observed it. Many times has it been brought up in the past after a disaster. This has just been a long time coming. I think even Joe Rogan at one point had an interview with a firefighter that talked about how like LA is just like a cesspool for fires. It really is.
people, this is going to happen again next year. Mark my words. Anyway, please stay safe out there, and thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next video whenever that is, and yeah, love you so much. Mwah.
Bro, I'm literally on the phone with the president right now, bro. Trust, bro. I got him. It's an important call. It's amazing. Gavin Newsom, dude, it sucks because he seemed like such a chill dude. But bro, ever since he's been put in power, he has shown himself to be so freaking incredibly corrupt, dude. He absolutely is the kind of person that will he absolutely like tries to destroy and discredit criticism. He is very like tyrannical. Like bro is not it. I'm telling you that right now, bro. I love the fact that this is getting some coverage though, because Gavin Newsom has been failing California for a while now, and it sucks because I was a big supporter. I'm a major Gavin Newsom supporter. I was. Now after seeing him in action, he has not done not one thing to actually help out the economy, help out the state, help out anything. He really is he is quite literally the same thing that Biden was doing, where it's kind of like you say you want to be the help the people and all this other cool stuff. Like the messaging is nice, but no one's actually getting any help. Groceries are still like destroying us. Rent, like I don't want to say this, but like I'm paying like I'm not gonna get into exact numbers, but rounded down basically, I'm paying like $5,000 in rent, bro. Like with everything, water bill, everything together. I'm grouping all the bills together. It's freaking wild. It's a lot to live in California. It's insane. Like, it's not a good time here. Trust. You need to freaking it's impossible to get a house around here. It's impossible to get a job that's gonna be able to accommodate like a full blown actual live like you own a house. Everyone's pretty much just going on apartments. It's a big reason why so many apartments here are basically turning into townhouses, and they're being like these buildings are being squished together. Like, let me show you what a townhouse looks like. In order to like meet the demand of like the living cost and everything, basically this, yeah, townhouses. You know what you know what a townhouse is. It's these like boxy houses that are pretty much just. This is the style that we're seeing a lot of here in LA. This right here, very tall, three floors, 3 stories high typically. In LA, we're seeing them like this, 3 stories high. So this is what we're typically seeing here in LA. And it's like, bro, you're not telling me this is not just literally the most fire hazardy of the fire hazards waiting to happen, and it's happening everywhere across LA right now because there's no other way to reduce the freaking cost of living. It's insane. It sucks. It sucks, and we're not seeing any changes. Alright, my dudes, let's go ahead and move on. We'll move on to the next video. Great video by Mujin. Please go and check him out. Go drop him a like. Go drop him some love. I'm gonna go ahead and share this video on the Discord. Pop. Be sure to go and drop him some love, my dudes. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe. And become a Monodachi today. I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi. That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!